welcome to Tortilla Talk Tuesday. You guys, my agave plant is getting so big. It's so huge. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle of it from here. Look at this thing, okay? That's where it starts. Oh my God. Look at this queen. She's a bloomin', she's a growin', she's large and in charge. She's growing. I don't know how much longer till it fully blooms and then dies, but I know that right after that thing blooms, it will be dead. You see all of this laundry? I need to fold all of that. And the reason my house is such a mess this time, I mean, my house is kind of always a mess, but I have a really good reason for why my house is a mess today. It's because I spent the weekend using my time very wisely, and I made a shadow box for a bunch of dead bugs. That's how I spent many hours this weekend instead of doing what I should have been doing, which is cleaning the house and getting work done. Now that I've come out of my hyperfixation of making a shadow box for bugs, which you would have seen if you saw my last vlog, I'm coming out of that hyperfixation focus and looking around my house going, oh my God, what have I done? The house is a total mess and I've neglected all chores and responsibilities I should have done over the weekend that I usually do over the weekend. And I also added messes because I took that shadow box all over the house to do it. Like if I was giving the kids a bath, I would work on it for a little bit. If I was making dinner, I'd work on it while the kids were eating, you know, stuff like that. So now there's just remnants of it all over my house, in addition to the messes that my children have put everywhere, which is my fault because I did not say, hey, pick that up, because I wasn't, anyway, who cares? I'm going to make my hair not look like this because it hurts when it's like all up. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. I decided to bring you guys with me as I do my hair, and also I changed my clothes. Are we surprised? No. But I thought I could answer some questions while I do my hair really quick. So in one of my recent vlogs, I showed that Maisie was awake pretty much all night one night just talking, and Create, Consider, Connect said making a goat shirt in the middle of the night is the most Colleen thing I've ever heard, which is so funny. So in the video she says that she wants to make a shirt for a goat. By the way, I didn't say this in the vlog, but that was at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning when she was having that conversation with me, and she'd woken up at like 2:30. So she'd been awake for a while when we were having that conversation. There were so many comments about how she's just like me, and that proved it. And yeah, I do think that like we have very similar personalities, but I guess I didn't make the connection that much that like everything she was saying was so me. The fact that she was like, yeah, we should definitely make a goat shirt right now, and it was 3:30 in the morning, is totally something I would do. Like, so anyway, the comments about her being hilarious that night and being so similar to me were making me chuckle, so thank you for those. I also talked in a recent vlog about how we have a lot of skunks outside, and I'm afraid that we're gonna get sprayed by them, and there are a bunch of comments about that. Katie Sparkles says, to help put your mind at ease, skunks can only spray once every few weeks. I did not know that. And I've seen 3. Now, that doesn't mean there's only 3. That just means I've seen 3 at the same time. There could be more. And I think they're living right outside of my office. So even if one sprays, there's still multiple other skunks that could spray me. But Katie also said, they use that as a last case scenario. I recommend looking up signs that a skunk is about to spray and teach the kids too, so they know how to be aware of that. That's really good advice. There were a lot of comments about the skunks, and this is one of the reasons I just really love the internet. And I talk about this a lot, but I feel like I've learned so much just from my comment section alone. Like, I've learned so much about the world and nature and being inclusive, and I don't know, just like so many things because of you guys, and I'm so grateful for that. There were more comments about the skunk situation and said that they usually like stomp their front paws before they spray, and they won't spray unless they're being threatened, and like all this stuff. You guys were very reassuring. And I'm sure I could have just like Googled all of this stuff, but I don't know, there's a difference between Googling something and getting advice from real people. Do you know what I mean? Like if I Google something and it tells me an interesting fact, I'm like, okay, cool, and I'll probably forget it and won't care. But if a friend or someone I know is like, did you know, and tells me some weird fact or something interesting I didn't know before, I will remember it and I will believe it. Like if the internet says like, you should try this makeup product and it's a top reviewed, top rated product, I'm like, okay, sure. But if one singular friend is like, hey, this is the best lip gloss I've ever had, I want to immediately buy it. So yes, I will do my own research and look into skunks, but I also really appreciate everyone's advice because I trust you guys. Craig in Ohio said, the moments of Colleen singing notes to Flynn, that was fascinating, because in one of my vlogs recently, I was just literally just being obnoxious and singing operatically to Flynn, which is something that's very common in my house, especially before my medicine kicks in. I'm usually pretty obnoxious. Craig says, just so casual, I am a Colleen fan, and to imagine what it would be like to live in a house where she just walks around singing at you, exercising her voice, that's heaven. That's very sweet of you. I just follow her around saying, sing another one. That's so funny. That's not what people say. It's usually met with, you're too loud, stop it, oh my God. But in a nice joking way, no one's rude about it. Like, the kids usually just ignore me. Eric might roll his eyes in a loving way, not in a we're getting a divorce kind of way, you freaks. But the people in my life are just kind of used to my antics. In fact, I feel like most of the time if people point out that I'm singing, I get embarrassed and I don't want to sing anymore because I don't typically realize that I'm even doing it, which I feel like is such a pick me annoying thing to say, like, oh my God, was I singing? I didn't even realize that. Like, I legit don't. I'm kind of just always singing / talking to myself. And if someone ever points out that I'm singing, I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't realize it was out loud and I get embarrassed. But that was very sweet of you to say. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, shine with a heart. Oh, girl. You just tattletaled on all of your friends here. Shine with Heart said, peach trees are self-pollinating. They don't need bees. Okay, listen. The saga of my peach tree continues. I was having a problem with rodents eating my peaches, and then I told you guys about it, and you said you should get a net for your tree so that the rodents don't climb up the tree and eat all the peaches. And I was like, okay, I will do that. And then I did that. And then there were a bunch of comments that said, no, do not net your tree yet because then the bees can't pollinate it, and then you're not gonna get any peaches. You need the bees to pollinate the tree first. And I was like, oh my God. So then I took the net half off the tree and half on the tree because then I was just confused and I didn't know what to do. So then I Googled it, and Google was like, no, if there's already been blooms, that's when you would net the tree. So, or if the blooms have already fallen off the tree, if that makes sense. So the bees have already pollinated the flowers and the flowers have fallen off and now there's like actual fruit growing, that's when you would net the tree. So that is when I netted the tree, but I was still confused because like I said earlier, I trust you guys more than Google, and you guys were telling me to take the net off so that the bees could pollinate the tree, but now Shine with Heart is saying that peach trees are self-pollinating and I didn't even need the bees in the first place to pollinate the tree, so I could have netted the tree way sooner. All that to say, yesterday I put the net back on fully because I noticed that something had been eating the peaches. Also, look at my bangs right now. It looks like an ocean wave. These bangs, I need to fix these bangs. Okay, guys? So I'm gonna do this and I'll see you in a second. Okay, it's been literally 10 minutes. I trimmed and styled my bangs. They look, that's not the point of what I'm about to say. I pulled the rest of my long hair back in like a messy bun, and look how it was in that for 10 minutes and it already like got ruined of like the curl I did with the straightener. Like it's a little bit there still, but for the most part, like there's all these kinks in it now from being in a messy bun. That's how well my hair holds whatever shape you put it in. So if I put it in a curler or use a curling iron or a straightener or whatever, it will hold that shape until you remold it like so well. So even though I should have done my bangs first is what I'm trying to say, because my hair just got completely undone from when I straightened it because I was doing my bangs, which don't even look good now. All right, I'm gonna go. Just checked on my chickens, got some eggs, and now I'm gonna show you that I put the fruit net thingy back on the tree, and look what we've got. Okay, look at this beautiful peach. You can't really see, but oh my God, half the fruit is eaten. No, wait a minute. Oh my God, look at, can you see that? That's eaten. Look, it did, oh my God. How did they get through? Okay, I'm pissed. What? How did this happen? Wait, it's completely netted. Oh, there's a little hole. Dang it. I've gotta fix this. Oh, friggin' A. Oh my God. Okay, so I just tightened the net, and out of like 20 peaches on that tree, 5 of them were eaten today because I just was out here yesterday checking that thing and none of them had been eaten yet. So something today ate 5 of them, broke through the net. The net wasn't tied quite tight enough. There's like a zipper on the net, and I guess the zipper is really easy to unzip, and I guess rodents know how to unzip zippers because it was like a little bit unzipped, and I tightened it all the way yesterday, so I don't know. Oh, that's so frustrating. All right, you guys, it is much later and I'm hanging with the cheeky chicks and I'm gonna answer some questions, but I'm using my phone as a light, so I'm gonna try to remember the questions, but I do know the first one I wanted to answer was one about when Flynn and I were in the kitchen. I was singing to him and being annoying. He started dancing, and then Eric walks in the door and Flynn like stopped dancing. He's like, oh, I wasn't dancing, I wasn't doing anything.
I was not dancing there. Don't worry about that.
And I almost took it out because I knew this, oh, excuse you. I felt like I knew this comment would come. I was like, I bet you someone's gonna be like, wait, why is he not allowed to dance around Eric? And that, I just was anticipating someone thinking that because if you don't know Flynn well, you might think that. I don't know, but Flynn was literally just being funny. Flynn does that all the time, and we do it all the time with Flynn and with the kids, where if someone walks in the room, we'll be like, what? I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't laying on my bed. Like, whatever you're doing, you just pretend like you weren't doing it just to be silly. If you watch the video, you'll see that like we're all laughing. But yeah, there was a comment that was like, wait, why is he embarrassed to be dancing? Why did he stop dancing? I'm like, oh, dang it. I should have just cut that part because I knew someone was going to think that. But it had a bunch of likes on it and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to say, this is something we do. Obviously, we're all fine with dancing. We do dance parties. We do family dance parties almost nightly. And he's not embarrassed to dance. We're all allowed to dance at my house. He was just being silly. Flynn is really funny. And he's full of jokes, that kid. Another thing that a lot of people talked about in the comments was Maisie's drawing skills. Like, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, Maisie's really talented at drawing. And Maisie loves to draw. She wants to do it all day, every day. It's like all she ever wants to do. She's obsessed with drawing. But there were a lot of comments about Maisie's incredible talent at drawing. And I actually want advice, some parenting advice. Obviously, if you watch me, you know that I love supporting my kids' passions and their loves and their talents. Whatever they love, I want to support it and help them have that be a part of their life, whether it be ocean creatures or trucks or bugs, dancing, music. I mean, whatever it is that they love, I'm like, yes. My daughter loves dollhouses. I will make her a dollhouse that she can carry with her wherever she goes. My son loves bugs. I make a bug enclosure for all his bugs, not only for the living ones, but we also now have this one that I've made for all his dead bugs. Wesley loves monster trucks. We have every single monster truck known to mankind in this house, and I know the names of all of them. So like whatever my kids love, I want to support. And Maisie really seems to love drawing. I love crafting and stuff, but I would never consider myself an artist in the way like of drawing, sketching, anything like that. I don't know anything about that, and I actually am not quite sure how to support her in the best way possible, other than just like encouraging her and telling her that her drawing is awesome. And I make sure to always have like pens and pencils and papers around so she can color and draw whenever she wants. Other than that, I'm not quite sure like if there's something else I should be doing, because like, for example, there's a way that you're supposed to like hold a pencil, and she has her own way of holding a pencil. When I try to help her hold a pencil like the correct way, she's like, no, I do it my way. Hello. I don't want to make her feel like she's doing anything wrong or be ashamed or like, I don't know. Am I making sense? Probably not. If anyone out there could tell me if you're into drawing and artwork, if there was something that your parents did for you that was helpful, let me know. I know she's only 3 and I'm overthinking this obviously a lot, but I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right, because it seems to be something she really, really, really loves a lot. And other than just like having paper and pens always ready for her to use when she wants, like other than that, I'm not quite sure what to do and how to like encourage and support that in the best way possible. So yeah, are you wanting to go on my shoulder? What's the deal? Are you gonna poop on me? Most definitely. Oh, you're totally gonna poop on my back, aren't you? Oh, bye, girl. All right, Allie said, hi, Colleen, Tortilla Talk question. Could you sing or talk about the musical The Last 5 Years, please? I just watched it for the first time ever, and I'm obsessed. I need someone to nerd out about it with. The way the actual music itself tells the story is so crazy, and as soon as I finished it, I thought of your dissections of Taylor Swift songs and how I bet you have really good thoughts on this musical. I love you. Oh, do I have thoughts? I mean, I could make a whole video about this. What do you want to know? I was in The Last 5 Years when I was very young, too young to understand the concept of the show and the intense situations that those characters get themselves into. But I was in that show, and I was at a religious school, so I had to change the words. So like there's a part in Summer in Ohio where she goes, son of a bitch, I guess I'm doing something right. But instead of son of a bitch, I had to say son of a gun. I think there was another one too in that show that I had to change. I just know that we didn't say any bad words at all. And the guy that I was doing the show with, because that show, if you don't know The Last 5 Years, there's only 2 people in that show. It's a man and wife, and it follows their journey of their relationship for 5 years. And the girl character, Kathy, she starts at the end of the relationship and she goes backwards in time for 5 years. And the male part, Jamie, he goes forwards in time for their 5-year relationship, and they only meet once in the whole show, and they meet when they do their I do's and they get married. The rest of the show, they aren't interacting with each other. They're just like telling their side of the story kind of through song. And I mean, it depends on the production you see, but they're acting to no one usually. Some productions put the other characters in the scenes, but they just don't have lines or whatever. Anyway, in the scene where we get married, we didn't kiss. He was married, the guy that I did the show with, and his wife and him decided that he wasn't going to kiss me because it wasn't something they were comfortable with in their marriage, which is fine, like to each his own, fine, but like it was his senior project. Like this guy chose this show as his senior project to do. And I'm like, why did you pick a show where like it's a romance and there's only 2 people on stage, and the one huge epic moment of the show is like they finally meet in person to get married, and there's like 1 second that they're together and it's doing their I do's. Like, why would you do it if you're not comfortable doing it? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know what to say about it because I love that show. I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours and hours. I have so many things to say about it. I have like hot takes about that show that people probably would not agree with, but I love that show. I thought Eric was coming in. I was all excited. What was that then? I heard that. Did you guys hear that? That sounded like someone was coming in the door, right? I don't know, guys. This place is freaking haunted. And that was another comment. Someone said in the comments that there's like this footage of me and Maisie late at night. Like there was little, like what I thought to be like pieces of dust, like kind of floating around the room in the night vision camera. Someone commented and was like, that's not dust. That's literally like spirits. That's orbs. You have spirits floating around your room. And I believe you. I wasn't scared when I read that comment. I was just like, yeah, most likely. This house is like the most haunted. All the kids' toys randomly will go off in the middle of the night when I'm alone down here and everyone else is asleep. I'll hear kids. I'll see like out of my peripheral vision, like people standing in the halls in my house. Like it's too much. Like this house is a lot. Victoria said, Tortita question, what's the weirdest fan interaction you've ever had? I love hearing these stories. I've been watching you since I was 13 and I just turned 23. Oh my God. Love you. I'm sure that everything happens for a reason, but I hope you can get back to touring sometime in the future. That's very sweet. Thank you. And thank you for watching me for so long. I think the chicks are over this. Maybe I should move locations because they're kind of over it. I'm gonna go make myself some food and I'll answer that last question because I have answers. Okay, I'm going to make a steak while I answer this question. So I'm just prepping my steak right now. But anyway, this is a really hard question for me to answer. And I've answered it before in videos a long time ago. I've talked about like the weirdest fan gift I've gotten, some awkward or good / and bad interactions I've had with fans. I'd say 99% of my fan interactions have been just wonderful. I love meeting fans. I love talking, and I don't even like saying fans, like people who watch my videos, viewers of my channel, whatever. But it's hard to say if there's like weird ones because I literally was a weirdo for my career. And yes, I just touched steak and now I'm touching this, but I'm gonna wash the outside of this. Don't worry, I will disinfect this because I know I was just like rubbing the steak. Anyway, I definitely have had lots of weird interactions, but I was Miranda. So like obviously the fans of Miranda are either gonna act weird as well because like they think that kind of weird humor is funny. And I find it funny too, so it doesn't seem weird to me, but I've been sent raw bacon and Spam, and someone gave me a vial of their own blood so that they could be the one to save my life if I ever needed blood. I've been given lots of weird gifts like that, but it's like bags of hair, cat hair, human hair. Like I've been given weird gifts into my PO box in the past, or even at the live shows, a lot of people used to bring fan gifts, which was so sweet. But it was a lot of time, if it was for Miranda, it was like a joke and weird and funny. And so it's hard to even say because the majority of my fan interactions, if it was in regards to Miranda, they were weird. You guys usually had like a weird sense of humor like me. So a lot of times when I was meeting people in character, they'd be in character too. They'd be like, hello, Miranda. And I'd be like, hello, what are you doing? You know, like we'd talk to each other like that. So when people ask, like, what's the weirdest fan interaction? I'm like, well, they were all kind of weird, I guess, because like I'm weird. But other than that, I would say, I mean, I've definitely told this story. The weirdest fan interaction, well, I feel like I recently told this story, but I had just had Flynn. I'm gonna make a really long story short, but I had just had Flynn and I had him vaginally, and I, after the epidural finally wore off, the postpartum nurse needed to teach me how to go to the bathroom. And so she was teaching me how to clean my area down there with all the stitches that I had, and how to pee and how to wipe and what to use. I know this is TMI, but I've told the story a few times. She's very sweet, very lovely. But anyway, I'm sitting on the toilet, pretty much naked, and she's literally down, like kneeling on the floor at my lady bits, and she's telling me how to deal with my very destroyed vagine. And after she explains and cleans my vagine and then tells me how to do it, and I'm like in misery pain, she looks up at me from that area, looks up at me and says, I saw on Twitter that you were in labor today, and I was really excited and hoped that I might get to have you as a patient. That was weird for me, but she was really sweet. She was really nice. I wasn't mad. I wasn't like awkward about it. I was just like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Like, that's so sweet of you. It's so nice to meet you. Like, I was just excited to meet her, but it was just a very weird circumstance. So that one was pretty weird. Yeah, I could go on and on. I mean, if you want to hear more stories, I can tell. I have a lot, but it's just hard for me to decipher what's weird and what's not because my career was pretty weird. I should stop saying was. My career is pretty weird, and it will continue to be fun and weird and different. So yeah, I'm not gonna say past tense, I guess. We'll see what happens in the future. Okay, I'm going to cook this and I'm going to go. My lovey just came in, so I'm gonna hang out with him, but I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.